Hello, hello.
Hey Karen, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Was that you, Leslie? No, wait, I hear voices.
Lori.
Paying attention. Lori, how are you? Oh, you're drinking, of course. Sorry.
Of course. No, it's tea.
Wait, it's
As far as you know,
Friday. Yeah, it's tea. Yeah.
tea.
Oh, so folks, we are going to have a conversation today about what's going on in your part of the region for 250 or your part of your organization. So if you can show yourselves, even though you're eating lunch and or drinking lunch like Lori is, this would be a great time to talk today. So we don't have a formal presentation, although we'll do some introductions, see what folks know about Chester County 250, and then share some information. So got a lot of good folks on the call. And Will and Amy, you have a bunch of kids in the background. It must be school's out, isn't it? Yeah. So can you please unmute yourself so we can go around and do some introductions? And how about you in your recording, right, Emily? Yes?
Yes, it's recording.
Yes. Thank you, Emily and Beth Kay. I'm Karen Simmons with the Community Foundation, and we're helping to organize 250 for Chester County. And on staff, you just noticed Emily Shake and Beth Kay are helping with all kinds of things. Heather, you want to talk about your role with 250 briefly, and we'll go around. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I also see a Jenny too. So after you, Heather, is a Jenny.
Sure. I'm Heather Reifer. I'm Senior Program Coordinator for 250 Chester County 250. I come from a historic site background, which Will and Amy at least know very well. I've worked at Millet and Selma and historic Sugartown over the years, and I'm helping supporting the heritage piece of this, the heritage site community and the municipalities.
Thank you, Heather. And Ajin, I see that you moved your camera around. Thank you very much for showing yourself. You are our newest addition to the 250 team. You want to introduce yourself to people?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mr. Jenny Livingston. I am a 30-year resident of Coatesville. Joined the team to help Karen spread the word about CC250.
And that you do. And if you were at our May 30th and June 7th at Thornberry Farm, you may have been fortunate enough to meet Jenny there, diving in a little bit more to 250. And we also have some commission members from 250. Rob, can you introduce yourself, sir?
Yeah, hi, good morning, everyone. Afternoon. Rob Williams. Rob Williams. I am the chair of the Historic Commission in Tredyffrin Township on the eastern side of the county. And I'm also the newly installed coordinator with the Chester County Historic Preservation Network, which is all the historic commissions and architectural review boards in the county.
Who in this call is a member of the Chester County Historic Preservation Network? I am. Rob is anybody else? No, I'm just trying. Oh, Sandra, you are, right? Okay, very good. All right. Well, let's keep going around and introducing. Sandra, as long as I called your name, do you mind who you are, or what organization, perhaps plural, you're representing for 250 initiatives? And you have to unmute yourself, Sandra.
I'm Sandy Momeyer, and I'm the archivist for history.
Can you step a little further back? You're kind of muffled. Try again.
I'm Sandy Momeyer, and I'm the archivist for history. And we're going to be very involved in the Philadelphia campaign. As many of you know, we're the site of the Revolutionary Wars.
Anything more is medical history?
He had an abscess tooth. And so we interpret medical medicine and the history of that.
All right, Sandra, you're very muffled, but I think we're going to, can we turn on captions too, Beth Kay and Emily? I don't know these things.
Excuse me?
Oh, it's hard to hear you. The connection must be bad. So we're going to try to turn on captions too.
Can you hear me now?
That's better.
Oh, okay. I'm Sandy Momeyer. I'm the archivist for Historic Yellow Springs over in Chester Springs. And as of you know, we're the site of the Revolutionary War Hospital, built when the Continental Army was at Valley Forge. And we interpret colonial military medicine there with our 18th century medicinal herbs. And so we're working on expanding that ourselves, but also collaborating with various.
Thank you. And we'll get into more soon about what else is going on. How about some brief intros? Lori, can I pick on you? Lori Cushman.
Sure, I'm Lori Cushman. I'm the president of the Justamere Foundation. We have no dog in the hunt on the historical, but we are all about all things Chester County and seeing the general prosperity that will come through all the events that are going to be presented here.
I like the no dog in the hunt. We were just talking about the hunt down here. So. Thanks, Lori. And who is from Miller Design Works? Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Scott Sheridan. I'm the creative director at Miller Design Works, and kind of got our fingers in a lot of the pies for things going on. We designed the Marshallton Village Heritage Center and the Kennett Square Heritage Center, and the list kind of goes on. But so we're on the implementation side for a lot of these projects and efforts. So I'm trying to get a handle on what all is getting thought about. We're working with Heather on a number of projects. We're part of the Mason-Dixon. We were part of the Brandywine Battlefield Heritage Interpretation Plan with Brandywine Conservancy. So we're kind of hearing lots of things and lots of efforts. And I'm hoping to kind of direct or see some coordination for an overall branding and identity for what's going on here. So we make a great user and visitor experience easy to navigate, easy to find all these great things that people are doing. So that's kind of my interest level.
I am glad you're here, Scott. I didn't know that you are the Miller Design man. Okay, can you do you mind, Scott, if we put your name in front of it for everybody who doesn't know that you're the Scott Sheridan of Miller Design Works? And
sure.
He's the guy.
You also work with this. Can you talk about the work you're doing with the CVB, as long as we're, because you have such reach, the Chester County Conference and Visitors Bureau.
Yes, we also did the table, the big touch table in there that gives you a tour of things. And we're working right now with them on plans for the moving of the visitor center. So that's, I don't know how much of that is public yet, so I'm not going to spill the beans on it, but they have got to move within 2 years. So we've got some really interesting ideas on the table for what's next. So I'm super excited about that. But we're trying to incorporate a lot of what's going on here. We've got some grant applications out. Heather knows about that, for networked kiosks around the county that would kind of show off some of these places and events. So that's also a hopeful. We'll see. But yeah, there's a lot of things that the Visitors Bureau is trying to do to support heritage tourism, and specifically 250th. So we're part of that as well.
I'm glad you're here, Scott. Yeah, we'll come back to some of the stuff you're doing as long as you're here, because I'm sure people want to know what we're crossing our fingers and trying to raise money for that'll benefit everybody. Okay, thank you. Leslie, Chester County Concert Band. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Leslie Burnick, president of the Chester County Concert Band. We are a large community band, actually about 100 members, although we don't necessarily bring 100 people to every concert. But, we really hope to provide the music and excitement through patriotic music and other kinds of events like that at many of the venues, throughout, not just in 2026, but prior to that and after that. So we really hope to get ourselves out there and make people happy through music.
Yeah, with great pleasure. Very good. Marie, would you be able to do a brief intro about what you're helping with on the 250 front and beyond? And we'll circle back for more detail after a bit, I'm sure.
Sure. Thanks, Karen. I'm Mari Forbes with the National Travel Center. I'm located over in Lancaster. We're working on the Path to Freedom, and we have completed the designation of the Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad Byway. We've done a website with 10 stories that if you haven't read them, please do. They're pretty impactful. And then we are extending the byway into a Underground Railroad Heritage Interpretive Trail plan that covers the entire of Chester County. And we have now put together 168 sites. We're going to be over in the county driving past everyone the second half of July and taking images, etc., all of them, so that we can actually have a heritage trail ready to put in a cell phone tour by the end of December. So yeah, it's a little ambitious. We haven't been funded for the cell phone tour, but we will have all of the information done. And we've just been recently contracted to do a new website for the Brandywine Valley National Scenic Byway. So we're trying to get as many tourism products and offerings done in Chester County as possible. Since we're just completing an agricultural heritage trail in Indiana and a new agricultural heritage byway in Chester, up in Center County. We'd love to be able to help do a trail for them and anything else from an implementation standpoint that you need.
Excellent. This is a good call. We're going to come back more. Why don't we keep doing some brief intros so we know who else is on the call? And Hank, would you introduce yourself? And you have to unmute. You got it.
My name is Hank Summer. I'm a resident of Chadds Ford, neighboring in Delaware County. I'm the state and national parks representative, and I'm participating in this process to better understand how Chadds Ford might be able to assist the neighboring county, the neighboring townships around us, and learn more about the process.
Welcome. Very good.
Thank you.
Wait, I have Steve Marvin and then Robert Copeland. I'm just saying names so you can unmute. Steve, hi.
Yeah. Hi, thank you. I came to the Thornberry meeting, very impressed with it. I came prepared to discuss the 4 categories that were present. And what I wanted to introduce was a 5th category. And to my surprise, a 5th category was already considered to add more things like arts and culture.
Oh,
so
gosh, yes.
I'm an artist and definitely feel that, you know, it's going to be much in demand. I don't know who chairs that section right now, but I'd like to coordinate with them on promoting arts. Some of the comments that people already mentioned, that making connections, branding to the 250 plan, and I'd like to enhance visitor experiences related to the 250 plan and see if we can coordinate all that together. Again, okay. I don't know who's in charge of that arts culture segment.
So right now, art culture, we have imbuing everything we possibly can. So, yeah, but that does bring up a follow-up. We're focusing first on the 4 heritage themes that are central to the place, and arts culture. Yeah, well, yes. And I'm a ballet dancer by trade, Steve. So we're not letting this go. Yeah, I have the feet to show it. Visual.
Well, we have music, so that's good.
Are you a visual artist? What is when you say art?
I do mostly painting, portraits, some abstract.
Very good.
Studied with Carl Kerner. And
yeah, I heard about that guy. I thought so. I thought that was you. Thank you. Good. We got more to come then. Good. Robert Copeland, can you hear? Can you introduce yourself? If not, we're moving on to Malcolm Johnstone.
Hi there, everyone. I'm with the Cultural Alliance, which is a division of the Chester County Community Foundation. And perhaps you might have seen the articles that I write in County Lines magazine. I always do something that relates to the history of Chester County or Westchester. And for example, in this month's edition of county lines, you want to pick it up. I write about Lafayette, and it's the teenage revolutionary. And so County Lines has been very, very supportive and will continue to be supportive for helping to get the word out, and specifically with storytelling of historical events.
Glad you're here, Malcolm. Thank you. L. Kennedy, is that Laura? It is, right? And then to Dan.
Yeah,
next.
it's Laura. Sorry, I don't know why my Zoom always says L.
Don't worry. I was just guessing. I thought I knew your name.
Yeah, it's Laura. Laura Kennedy. I am the advancement manager for Founding Forward, which is formerly Freedom's Foundation at Valley Forge.
Thank you. That's right.
Yeah. We do civic engagement, educational programs for anywhere from elementary all the way through high school, as well as teacher professional development. We're running our summer teacher professional development courses right now. The most immediate thing that we are involved with America 250 is that we received one of the grants for the PA Day events.
I was going to ask you to talk about that. Tell people how we can help, please.
Yeah. So
July 20th.
July 20th is PA Day. We've received a grant from America 250 and Keep PA Beautiful for a day of volunteerism to help clean up the Medal of Honor Grove on our campus. We have a 75-acre campus, and 42 of those acres are dedicated to the Medal of Honor Grove, which is a living memorial to the over 3,500 recipients of the Medal of Honor. Each state has an acre, and each recipient has a little plaque with their name on it. It's a really beautiful place also to walk if you've never been. I would highly recommend going for a walk there because it's very far away from all the roads. It's very peaceful. We're dog friendly. It's a great little hidden gem in Chester County. So July 20th, we are doing a day of volunteerism to help clean up the Grove. We're gonna do some planting. We're gonna do some wood chipping. We're going to do some gravel spreading to make some of the paths a little more accessible. And we would love for everybody to get involved. You do have to sign up through the America 250 link. But that event is listed on the Community Foundation's website with the link.
And we keep sending it out so folks will sign up for you at Medal of Honor and also for the food banks in Chester County.
Yes, and we really appreciate
two things that Pennsylvania 250 is really hooked onto. So thanks, Laura, for getting that rolling. Dan Campbell and then Joe Antonelli. Hi, Dan.
Hello, I'm just a local architect specializing in historic buildings, and that has landed me on the Westtown Township Historical Commission. Our most recent endeavor is to start a series of speaker talks at the Westtown Municipal Building on Route 202 about every other month. We'll probably take off a few months for the summer, but we'll start up again in September.
Great. Good. I don't remember if we have the speaker talks on our calendar, so I'll go over that later just to make sure everybody knows to submit those up so we can keep helping promote those.
We have a pretty good publicity director on our commission, so I'll make sure that he does send it to you.
Great, thank you. What's his name so that my lovely staff can, who is it?
Stephen with a W, long, unpronounceable German name.
Okay, got it.
Stephen Warhafting.
Got it, thank you. We'll get the information out. And Joe Antonelli, could you introduce yourself, and then Steve Lyons?
Hi, my name is Joe Antonelli. I'm with West Bradford Township. I'm Director of Planning and Zoning. We've been involved not really in the Chester County 250, but more of the Brandywine Battlefield Task Force, which their big 250 is in 2027.
Yeah.
Which we are starting to generate conversations, municipal conversations about possible reenactment down the crossing of the West Branch for the Howell flanking. Just starting preliminary conversations with that. As for the Chester County 250, I'm really on this call just starting to get ideas. This is my first one for the committee. Seeing if any local businesses, Marshallton Tavern or Four Dogs Tavern or Marshallton Inn might be interested. USTC is always looking for any opportunities for things like that, but just kind of gauging what the committee is about and how we can get involved.
Great, thank you. All right, Mr. Lyons, and then I think I missed Rick Fisher after that too. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Karen. Can you
A
hear
little
me?
closer to that mic. Yep, that's good.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yes, I'm Stephen Lyons with West Goshen Historic Commission and the chairperson for Friends of Shiloh AME Church and Cemetery in Westtown Township. We share a common history with this historic Black church and community that thrived for 100 years before it moved on. So we're looking at forgotten stories of the Underground Railroad, the intersection of Quaker abolition, forgotten Black communities, and some of their legacies to our community.
Glad you're here. And Mr. Fisher, and then Robert Copeland or Christian Callahan. Go ahead, Rick.
Hi, I'm Rick Fisher. I'm with the Freemasons of Middle and Southern Chester County. And we're just beginning to see how we can be involved. However, things we're definitely doing are we're planting a Liberty tree, both in Brandywine Battlefield and the Paoli Massacre site. Liberty trees are where the Patriots gathered, and the only living one left is in Annapolis, Maryland. However, we have several sprigs, and the goal is to plant at least one Liberty tree in every county of Pennsylvania. And Chester County's fortunate that we're going to plant both Brandywine Battlefield and Paoli Massacre site.
That is great news. I didn't realize you were doing that.
Yeah, and I'm 99% sure we'll be planning one in Valley Forge. However, that's our sister district with the 5th Masonic District.
Okay.
The other thing we're working on is the lodge in New York are the owners of the George Washington inaugural Bible and also the gavel. And we are looking at getting one of them artifacts to Brandywine Battlefield on a date in October of 25. And right now, the event's closed to Masons, but we're very seriously talking about opening it up to the public for viewing.
Thank you.
And not to name drop, but Washington, Franklin, Lafayette, and others were brothers of the fraternity, and Pennsylvania Masons very much wants to be big time as far as supporting the event, and we're all a good group of volunteers as well, so hopefully we can support other organizations. I also am a 1976 graduated Coatesville High School. 2026 will be our 50th union. And I was talking to, fortunately at Thornberry, I shared a table with the superintendent of Valley Forge Park. And she had let me know that that's the 25th anniversary of Valley Forge Park turning from a state park to a national park. And we began to talk about maybe something we can do together to commemorate that significant period.
Excellent.
And that's what we're doing so far.
I'm glad you zoomed in today, and that's great news about the Liberty trees and hooking up with Rose Fennell at Valley Forge to get more partnerships rolling. That's great. Jim Ziegler, I just saw you come on up. How you doing? Good to see you. And then Jane after.
Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. We just want to know who you are and what you're doing related to 250 and that sort of information.
Well, you know, we're at the National Iron and Steel Heritage Museum
Heard of
in
that place.
Coatesville, next to the site of what is now the Cleveland Cliffs steel plant, former Luke and Steel plant, longest continuously operating iron and steel company in steel plant in North America since 1810. So, you know, 250 precedes us, but the iron and steel story, of course, is the Heart of Valley Forge. So we're involved as a site to visit, quite frankly, when the throngs, as we witnessed in 1976, come through what is Business Route 30, the former Philadelphia-Lancaster Turnpike. You know, we're here right on the former turnpike, ready to receive visitors and tell the iron and steel story.
I'm glad you're here, Tim. Thank you. We'll have more to come. Jane Rivera, can you introduce yourself? And then S. Brown?
Yes, my name's Jane Rivera. I am a volunteer at the mill at AMSEMA, and I'm just here to hear what's going on.
Okay, I'm glad you're here. We know that mill, don't we? Heather. And S. Brown? And then Bob.
Hello, this is Steve Brown.
Hi, Steve.
I'm with West Callan Township.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And we're out here in the hinterlands, so we have a little bit of the agricultural and iron and steel involved with that part of the history. And of course, William Klingen, who lived here in Wagon Town, where I reside now. So we're excited to see what kind of ideas can come out of this, and I'm taking notes so that we can get our act together here in the township for how we can celebrate with the rest of America.
Excellent. And just to let you all know, for the taking notes comment that you just made, I'm going to show you the whiteboard that we have online, and Emily has taken notes from today's call. So all these ideas and who's doing what, we're going to put on the whiteboard. I'll show you, we'll send links out, and then we're just collecting ideas now, collecting and connecting. So yes, take notes, and we are too, and we'll send them out for everybody to share. Bobcat08@mac.com. I am trying to remember whose email. No? Okay, Bobcat, you're a mystery. Come back if you want. Jim Garrison, Lynn Sinclair, Bertha Jackman. Could you do some intros? Anybody?
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Lynn. I hear Lynn first and then Jim.
Lynn Sinclair from the Kennett Heritage Center. We haven't begun planning too much. I recently talked to a member of the Kennett Township Historical Commission about us, the Heritage Center, working with the Township Historical Commission on whatever it is we're going to do, since the borough is right smack in the middle of the Kennett Township. I'm also here to learn what everybody else is planning.
Good. We got all kinds of good stuff. And Bertha Jackman, you are here. Would you introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry to get in one late, coming off another meeting. I'm with Mount Zion AME Church in Devon, Tredyffrin Township. I'm the church historian there. And I'm also with the Friends of Shiloh AME Church and Cemetery, along with Steve Lyons. And I am also a co-chair on the Path to Freedom, one of the 4 themes of the Chester County 250 celebration. So
welcome, Bertha. Thank you. Thank you. And Jim Garrison, would you be able to introduce yourself?
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Jim.
Happy retirement, Jim.
Yes. In addition to being retired, I'm chairman of the East Pikeland Historical Commission and a member of the Chester County 250 Commission. And we in East Pikeland are really looking forward to being part of the Philadelphia campaign theme, because we have a National Register site in our township, the Continental Powder Works, which was a very significant contributor to the Continental Army in 1776, 77. So we are looking forward to joining that theme task force, as well as Path to Freedom, because we also have some historical markers in the township related to the Underground Railroad. So we have a lot of places we can latch on, and we're looking forward to the further development of the theme areas so that we can become part of those groups.
Right. Is there anybody else who needs to give a little introduction? Did I miss anybody, or is anybody coming back up? All right. I would like to briefly go over some of the resources we have and then entertain some more in-depth conversation about some of the ideas that are going around. So I'm going to share my screen. I think I'm going to share my screen. Can you see the website for the 250 on the screen? Oh,
Yeah.
that's been behind. Okay, so on the website for the 250, a lot of the things you're doing right now are in the program planning stages. And just to be clear that when it's time to get things listed, please tell us, because there are programs underway already. And this is a partnership with the Chester County CVB, the Visitors Bureau. And when you send information on programs and events, we highlight them on the website, and then Beth and Emily send them out on social media every weekday, whatever. So once you hit the website, this is for programs that are related to history, heritage, arts, culture, and it'll get more refined with a history heritage overlay. As we have right now, you can see about 50%, 75% of the programs have a history heritage overlay. And as we work more with the arts and culture groups, Steve, as we had said, we'll be able to really focus on the arts and culture groups that have history, heritage, we the people overlays. But now they're in there because it's a beginning. So, and if you can't add your own things, there's instructions here, or just email us. Beth and Emily will get your information up there so that we can help to co-promote what you're doing in all kinds of ways. Are there questions about the 250 co-promotion desire once things get so that you actually want to let the public know they're happening and we can help people get visitors? It's a start on the website, at least for the co-promotion. And then the other thing is, as you're coming up with ideas for events and everything, if you want us to come out and talk to your group about 250, that's where Heather and Ajane, Malcolm, myself, the staff members, and can come out and help your groups understand 250. And also, if you want, help in facilitating discussions about what we're doing, what you're doing for 250. We can offer you facilitators for free to help do that as well. So as you're developing programs and ideas, let Heather or myself know if you'd like somebody to come out. And we will gladly come out and either just talk about 250 overall or also work with your group to help facilitate conversations on what we're doing. To know about 250 overall, we do have this overview handout, and I'm going to make sure that we send it out to everybody who's on the call. Some of you have seen it quite a bit, and I'll go through it in very, very briefly in a second. But that's the way when you really look at this. If I put it up on the screen, can you see it now? Can you see it? This 250 is coming one? Yeah. Let me briefly go through this. Just, I mean, and I'm going to make this really brief because It's on the website. We've gone through this at different sessions, but these are the aims of 250 that have been gathered from the national initiative, the statewide initiative, and then in concert in Chester County with Chester County's Heritage Tourism Plan that was just approved by the commissioners. And as I think you've heard in our introductions, there are very much heritage themes, very specific to Chester County, that we're really focusing on trying to help bring forward and promote. The Philly campaign theme, the iron and steel region, the agricultural bounty region, and unfinished business, the path to freedom, the Harriet Tubman Byway, and Underground Railroad, which spreads throughout the county as well. So those are 4 very specific heritage themes to Chester County. And they're written up here as well and in great detail with, in the work you're doing is amazing there. This is the graphic that kind of pulls it all together for Chester County. The power of place are those 4 heritage themes. And then the overlays to everything are also during 2026, 2027 and beyond. We're really trying to help promote things about the unfinished revolutions and evolving values of our nations, very specific to Chester County. And I mean, the creative bounty that underlies and flows throughout everything we do as well. And this is not just about how Chester County helped start the nation in the past, but the impacts on the present and our dreams and visions for the future, the founding stories. And it is very much about, as you know, throughout Chester County, everybody coming up with what they want to do to celebrate and commemorate our independence as a nation. So very much we the people, events, commemorations, stories, activities throughout the region all year. So, I mean, you know, these rights and responsibilities that we have as people in the United States, and this gets into how do we express and understand them as a people, as a community, as families, as society. And this is the kind of stuff we're looking for people to answer throughout 250. What does your freedom and independence mean to you? How did we, your organization, your site, your municipality, participate in the founding of our nation? And then what linkages do we have to liberty and justice for all in our continuing journey to build a more perfect union? And how can we do this that is very unique to our own community? And then partners, timelines, all that. So these are just planning sheets that get the conversation started. And as I said, if you want us to come on out and explain this in more detail, our help with the planning, that's what we want to be able to do. And you know the timeline, it's almost 4th of July and 2026 will be here after an election. And we don't stop after 2026 because we have the Battle of Brandywine and Clouds and Paoli and the Philly campaign and head up to Valley Forge. So everything we're putting in place is forever legacy stuff. We're really trying to strengthen the interactive heritage tourism network so that people who come to Chester County will get involved and keep coming back. So in that information about the website and all we just went through. That's our overall focus for 250 is to try to help you with whatever you're doing and to try to help connect people to get the resources. Do we have questions, comments, ideas about that very brief overview?
Yeah, Karen, Rob here.
Thanks, Rob.
One suggestion. At the summit, the 4 themes were presented in detail on charts, and
Yes.
it showed up in the big deck that you distributed. I'd recommend creating individual packages of those so we can pull down just Philadelphia campaign or just agriculture and be able to share those with the groups in our townships without
Good
having
idea.
to share the whole big package.
Okay, so did we do that already, Beth Kay? All right, they'll show up here, plus we'll mail them out. So you're
Okay,
right, Rob.
okay.
What we have right here on the Join Us to Make History page, these conversations, is this very first one is the whole packet of the 81 pages, you're right, of what we compiled. And Bertha, this has all the Pathway to Freedom stuff that y'all put through too. So
Yes.
it's a complete packet. And then, you know what, we're also going to put the separate packets plus the recordings of the 4 themes as well, plus the recordings of what our wonderful government officials talked about with the themes. They should go up on the website. Okay, what do you think, Beth, Kay, and Emily, within the week or so? When do you think we'll have those back from the video guys?
Not positive, but sooner rather than later. If
Okay.
it's not next week because of the holiday, it might be the following week.
Okay, but we can get the packets divvied up and put up there, and we'll send them out as well, Rob. And then I think the other place we're going to link them to on the website, just so you all know, is on the homepage. Oh my God, the homepage just went away, Beth. Sorry about that. That's embarrassing. We'll fix that.
That
I'm gonna
wasn't
try
the
again.
homepage. That's about us.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry. That was, I would call that an ID 10T error, which is a user error. So there's the 4 themes at the bottom. We'll also put them at the beginning of each of these pages once you link to those. So the info packets and the information that you're starting to come up with, these will keep evolving most definitely as we know more about what you're doing. The other thing I wanted to show you, and this is where on the resources page, the whiteboard. Can people see this resources page? And it says the whiteboard. So it's a bulletin board to post ideas of what you're doing for 250. So these are things that are in process. And so we've been posting ideas that we have, and we're going to get them more organized now that we start to have headers. And the things you're talking about today that you're thinking of doing will also list up here as well, so that you can start to get some ideas on what's going around, ideas around the county as well. So it's verbal as well as in writing, and then conversation and hooking through. So if in doubt, go to the bulletin board or give us a call. Does that help a bit for how we're trying to help coordinate what's going on?
Karen, I have a question.
Please, Bertha.
Cheney University.
Yeah.
I know that lies within 2 counties, Chester
We're
County
taking it.
and
Delaware
County.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything from them?
You know, I'm sorry, I now see Ajene's smile in the middle here. Ajene is a Cheney alum, and Ajene Livingston is right in on the screen. And Ajene, you don't know this, but yesterday and birthday, I was talking with Dr. Lauricia Hawkins of Lincoln University, who is on the 250 Commission. And just yesterday, we assigned ourselves, we've got Westchester University, which is working on a 250 committee, is rolling out. And Lincoln University has started to roll out what it's doing for its 250 committee. And we're going to talk within a couple of weeks to Cheney University, Penn State, Immaculata. So we're going to hit, there's another one. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting it. So yes, it's on our list of groups to make aware the 250 is coming, and then start to get a work group in there. And then we're actually hoping that the universities within 4 to 6 months will be able to do a Zoom session like this, just to say, here's what we're thinking about doing for 250.
Okay, the reason why I ask is because I mentioned back on June 7th when we had the planning summit, the day before I had attended the Delaware County 250 meeting, and it was held at Cheney University. So, you know, so trying to be in discussions with them. Yes, they lie in 2 counties, and so
we're both taking them.
Okay, so I just wanted to bring them up.
Yep.
You know, because if you don't, I mean, I'm sure everybody here knows about Cheney, that is, you know, is one of the historical HBCUs, Black colleges and universities, and it's another treasure in Chester County.
Right. And Lauricia is hoping that Cheney and Lincoln can really do some partnering. And this would be a nice way to bring them together. Laura, you had a question, comment, idea?
Yes, do we have any plans to, probably not now, but closer to then, to coordinate with like Philadelphia and Pennsylvania as far as advertising outside of Chester County? You mean for Chester County's events and things? Or, yeah, advertising the events that are going on here, like coordinate with Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, or, you know, is there a larger 250 group that we would be able to kind of combine our efforts with and get the word out outside of Chester County? We're working this convention. CVB, Susan Hamley is on the 250 commission, and so that's what the CVB's role is, to make sure and extend it regionally, nationwide, and also internationally, because Chester County gets a decent amount of international visitors. So, and actually, Miller Designs, Scott, did you have any insights you want to add to that at this point, or should we hold that back in when we do a special session with the CVB in a few months? You're muted, and that's probably good, right, Scott? You're muted. So does that help a little, Lori? Yeah. And the other part is that
I'm not qualified to speak for them on their advertising stuff. So
yeah, okay. We also coordinate. We do, I would say, almost every other month or so, gatherings with the other 250s across our region and Pennsylvania. And so we're out there trying to see who's doing what and getting best practice ideas. Yeah. Other questions, comments? Hey,
Yes.
Bert.
Yes, what can you say what CVB is?
Oh, the Conference and Visitors Bureau.
Oh, thank you.
Convention, conference. Tourism. Right now, they're located in front of Longwood Garden in the Longwood Progressive Meeting House. But Chester County's Conference and Visitors Bureau will be moving to Westchester within, let's say, a year and a half. How's that? If Scott does his work well with other folks.
right.
So the Convention and Visitors Bureau has been working on heritage tourism initiatives. That is its core focus. And their Path to Freedom connection, Bertha, is the Longwood Progressive Meeting House in front of Longwood Gardens. And you know, there's a huge tradition there with the Underground Railroad. And that's why they're moving out of it, so that they can, Longwood can open it more. That makes sense?
Thank you.
Yeah. Other questions, comments, ideas? I'm going to put Heather and Scott on the spot. Can you talk a little bit about the Heritage Interpretive Network, and anybody else? I don't know, Marie, if you want to talk a bit about that. Can I show a picture of the map? And then Heather, can you explain what it is? And Scott, if you feel like chiming in, go ahead. That work?
Sure.
You're good. Okay, let me find a picture of the Heritage Interpretive Network map. In our lovely handout on the share screen, Heather, if you want to,
There.
and I'm going to put it over here, I think. There, can I do that? It's so small, it's hard to see, but.
Very small. So if you squint a little.
Can you kind of see it now?
So yeah, so what this map shows are current heritage centers in the county. So the Heritage Interpretive Network is something that the county has been working on developing. It's really the brainchild of Janine Spears in the County Planning Commission office. And it developed out of work that the Brandywine Battlefield Task Force had been working on in terms of classifying or categorizing the sites that make up the Battle of Brandywine. this particular map shows some of the existing heritage centers. There's a number that are proposed. Initially, they were focused on the Philadelphia campaign and Battle of Brandywine, and it's in the process of being expanded out, and it put this under proposed to expand out to include the other themes that we are pushing forward for 250 and also for the Heritage Tourism Plan. So the white and black circles, those are existing interpretive sites throughout the county, and these are the ones that are listed. Obviously they're not named, so you might, if you know your site, you could probably find it. These do not get down to the nitty-gritty of like a historical marker. It's more publicly accessible sites that are available right now. So the Heritage Interpretive Network, as it's proposed, has 3 different categories. Gateways are places that are extremely visitor ready in the sense that they have the infrastructure to accommodate volume of guests. So places like Valley Forge or Hopewell can handle that number of people. Heritage centers are more are visitor ready in the sense that people can come on a regular basis, find information, and then move out to the rest of the interpretive sites in the county. They can accommodate less volume. They can't have the big tour buses per se, but they can accommodate small groups, families, individuals, obviously.
So the heritage centers on this map, let's be real specific. This is Lynn Sinclair in Kennett Square, right, Lynn?
Yep.
And then over here is Marshallton?
That's Marshallton.
This one is the Chester County History Center?
Yep. And then to the west, we have Iron and Steel.
So Jim
the
Ziegler, you're
National
over
Iron
here?
and Steel Museum.
And then what's up here?
North is the Schuylkill River Heritage Center.
Phoenixville with Barbara Cohen.
Exactly.
So these are existing heritage centers that have capacity to greet guests and help them find out about amenities in the area. And we have some more proposed places that we're trying to raise some funding for.
Yeah. So, and in terms of this network, Janine and I and a few others have been working on trying to develop criteria for whether, when a site is a heritage center versus an interpretive site. It all comes down to the level of experience and the level of how they can interpret specific themes in the Heritage Tourism Plan.
Can you talk about apps, maps, and kiosks?
I can certainly try. So what are they?
Briefly, just like a 3-minute overview. And then
So
Scott, can you add in your hopes and dreams too?
So one of the things that we have a grant project out there to install kiosks throughout the county. This is going to be an expansion on one particular existing one in Marshallton. They have an indoor interactive kiosk there where visitors can find information about that particular area, as well as information about other amenities, other attractions in the area. The concept of the kiosks, ultimately, we would love to expand it to have 28 locations throughout the county, have them outdoors, accessible practically 24/7, because one of the major issues for many a historic site, and I'm sure some of you can vouch for this at your own institutions, you can't be there 24/7. You could barely be there one day a week. So, so trying to make our places more accessible to the public, but not only doing that, when they get there, they can find out what else is going on nearby and figure out, well, I can visit 2 or 3 other places and go to dinner in Phoenixville, for example. So So that is the idea of the kiosk. Scott is working on this project and developing and helping us develop how this network will look, as well as the content that will be on them. So that's that piece. The other piece, our hopes and dreams are to have a mobile app that does something similar that people can take along with them. Janine Spears again has been working on an initiative to develop one for the Philadelphia campaign, and we're still seeking out funding for such things.
But the aim is apps for each of the 4 theme areas.
Yeah,
and it's like Marie is explaining the initial online stuff for Path to Freedom as well. So
yeah, the idea, I think all the way around, I think our thought process is this has to be scalable. And so as more themes become developed and more stories can be told, we can expand into those areas.
And the fact is, Iron and Steel, Jim Ziegler, and
yes,
has some incredible brochures and trails for the Iron and Steel. So to be able to work off of that, which has been established for a decade now, and develop it into the content for, take the maps and the trails and and develop it for apps and kiosks. You've got a good groundwork laid. Scott, do you want to add some intelligence about apps and maps and trails? Because I'm learning this, and
he can do it so much better than me.
No, that was great out there, actually. I would just say, first off, there actually are 2 kiosks. One is at
That's right.
Phoenixville, the Foundry.
Right.
And those are networked. But I will throw in a caveat. The Visitors Bureau, their back end system, they recently changed. They went from one system to a new system called Simple View.
Yeah.
And our kiosk, all the great map and where to shop, dine and drinks part of it was all tied to the old system. So the map part of it, if you happen to go to Marshallton or something and they're playing with a kiosk, you'll see there's a under construction, which I hate, but we are
but
in
now
the process.
Is the time, not 250. Now is the time, not 2026.
The front part, the history and the stories and the timeline stuff, that's all working. It's the connection to the database of information that the Visitors Bureau has for things like map-based locations like dining, shopping, that stuff. We are in the process of working on that, and that will get fixed soon, I'm hoping. We're trying to work with Simple View to create connections to that for the existing kiosks. Obviously, when we get going, if we get the grant and get going on the big one, then that will be part of that as well as the table there. But I think what's interesting about the kiosk is it has this common back end for the whole county. Yeah. But what's neat is each of the kiosks has what we're calling hyper-local content. So there's a front end that is really up to the organization that's hosting or sponsored it or has kind of put this together. So for instance, at Barbara's at the Foundry, it is all about the Iron and Steel, and particularly the Foundry, where their bridges are that the Phoenix Columns made, those kinds of things. That's the front end of their story. Whereas at Marshallton, it's about Humphrey Marshall and the village and the things that occurred there. So the little walking tour, those kind of things. So we call it hyper local. It's really, and that's what makes these heritage centers so great. It's really about what is right here, what's interesting, how did it come about. And I think one of the important things, this is sort of my personal soapbox, but I think it applies because as we're talking about it, I see that it still is an issue. We're calling it the Heritage Interpretation Network, but there really isn't an official sort of name and brand and sort of overall.
We got to come up with something better than that, don't we?
Well, even if we don't, I think we need to visually organize this whole system so that, and I'll give you an example. If you go to Chester County Parks, there's a neat new logo and identity for Chester County Parks Plus Preservation. And if you look at the logo, it's got 3 parts to it. And those 3 parts represent the 3 parts of the park system. And it really makes sense visually as a system. You know, if you're thinking about a park, where are you going to go? You're going to go to Chester County Parks. If you're thinking about this stuff, you don't know where to go right now. And you don't know how to, and I'm saying as visitors coming to this, they don't know how to navigate this. And we certainly don't have signage or any kind of visual system that says, you know what, you're in part of the Heritage Network. And in fact, you're right now at this Heritage Center, it has information about the Philadelphia campaign, and it's got information about the Underground Railroad or the Path to Freedom. So there's nothing really that help orient visitors to this great network that we're developing. And I think that's a real missing component right now. The visitors.
That's what we're working on overall for the 250 Commission and the Heritage Plan.
Yeah. So that's something I'm obviously very interested in. And
this your branding for the parks?
This was not us, but that's the one I'm referring to. And so those 3 things are represented in how they organize their information and their places. And I think that's a real good analogy to what we need to do with this, especially for outside visitors. I think they're just going to be really lost. Like Janine has put out some design stuff for the Battle Brandywine that came out of the landscapes planning probably 10, 15 years ago. And it is specific to Battle Brandywine. Well, that doesn't cover the majority of these things we're talking about for the 1777 Philadelphia campaign. As it doesn't apply to Clouds, it doesn't apply to Paoli or you know, the powder works that you were just talking about, or the fords and encampments that are outside of the Brandywine. It doesn't make any sense either verbally or visually. So I'm afraid that things like that will start becoming sort of de facto mini brands when it really should be quickly taking a step back and create an overriding architecture, both structurally and visually for this before things start kind of getting made ad hoc. That's my big fear, is the ad hoc approach is going to confuse visitors.
We've been doing the planning for a year or so. We're doing the fundraising now, and we're poised to know whether the funding is going to come through over the next several months, and it's getting close. But one of the things Heather is doing is trying to gather together everybody's tours and trails she can, so that we can at least put them in what current state they exist on the 250 website, so that we have the collection, so that as we get closer to actually being able to come up with the interpretive network, we have information. So Heather will be chasing after everyone on these calls.
For that, if you have at your organization or municipality, you have an existing trail or tour that you'd love us to get the word out, shoot me an email. I'll put my email address in the chat too.
And she'll chase after you with more social media. We'll see social media appeals for it and email appeals for it. And then we'll do a separate page on our resources just of Chester County maps, trails, tours, again, as a compilation place, so that hopefully when we get some funding over the next few months, we can then work on having the data there so that it can be interactively loaded in to the apps and the kiosk. And Marie, can you talk again about what you're doing with the Path to Freedom? You talked about being able to do photos and all over the next few months so that you'll be able to get up a Path to Freedom.
Yes, yeah. What we're doing with task 3 is we're going to go literally driving in Chester County to go by all 168 sites to determine which ones are feasible, because you can't create a heritage trail with 168 sites on it. No one would ever do it all. So as a part of that process, we're going to be taking images of every one of the sites so that people can understand why they're on the trail, why they're not on the trail, and the level of accessibility, not handicapped accessibility, but just accessibility to the site so we can make an evaluation for the plan. But those images are going to be really handy. The other thing we're going to be doing over there is taking images of the Brandywine Valley National Scenic Byway for the new website. So that'll be a image collection that should be pretty handy in the future.
And you launched the Path to Freedom website within the last couple of weeks, as I remember, or a month or so, right?
It's been a couple of months. Fortunately, we've been getting rave reviews.
It is beautiful. Yeah, it's just so you all know, again, as we're working within the themes, we're trying to keep up with all the stuff you're doing. So thank you for all the stuff you're doing. And on the home page, I think we can do this again. As you click in now, oh, Beth K, if we didn't do this, I don't want to embarrass us, but we got to get a better cover photo there. But right now, if you click in there, the very first bold one is the Harriet Tubman Byway. This is your new website, right, Marie?
Yeah, and if you can scroll down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Can y'all see it?
Here's the 10 stories we talked about.
Yeah.
And we tried to really tell the story of the freedom seekers, the abolitionists, but most of all concentrating on the experience that the African Americans and even the free African Americans and the freedom seekers had to go through during this whole time.
It is an incredible collection of information, and you all are an incredible example of one of the groups that really has been pushing like crazy over the last 6 to 12 months, and it's starting to really come together and pretty new working together from what I understand and have seen.
We are, but we're making a lot of progress through all of this. And
beautiful. Yeah.
Byways are a labor of love in our company. So.
Okay. So yeah, and great, and you're doing it, and you'll be ready, and this is terrific. So yeah.
As I said, we'll have the Underground Railroad Heritage Interpretive Trail ready to put into a cell phone tour by the end of December, so that we can look for funding, and that will actually make the tour available to visitors a lot more quickly than having to find the funding for heritage, kiosks or interpretive panels and all of that kind of thing. So we're going to be able to offer that experience as efficiently as possible.
That's great. That is great. Now I am aware that it's past our 1 o'clock stop time, or we're getting close to our 1:15 stop time, however you want to take that. I found it extremely helpful to hear what people are thinking of in their part of the county. And I know this is an ongoing process. Are there burning questions or ideas for today that you want to share with anybody else? And we just want to keep circling back and following up and maybe more focus. What do you think? What works best for you? What did you come here for? And did you get a little bit of it at least? And what else do we need? Stephen, please. I think you're muted, or you're too far from your mic, maybe?
I keep forgetting to turn up my mic. I do have a question, like, concerning Black industry in our county, especially 19th century. Is anybody doing any work or research pertaining to Black-owned blacksmith shops, Freemasons, Black-owned farms? If there's any data that people are working on and telling those stories.
Is anything represented here? Good question. Then we'll put it out there for folks to really start to think through a little bit more, and more to come. Any other questions, comments, observations?
Well, just basically that, yes, that there were Black-owned businesses, but like you said, it's just a matter of trying trying to coordinate that information and put it together. So yes, there were Black-owned farms and Black-owned businesses in the county.
I mean, I'm just kind of curious about how many there were.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a good opportunity for us to loop in Lincoln and Cheney for some of that research and some of that information as well.
Good question at hand to really push in with the history centers. Yep.
There's a book, and I don't remember the name of it, but it's from 1910, and there was a listing of Black-owned businesses. I don't know if it was national, but that information is out there. So it's like I said, it's just a matter of coordinating it.
Anything else for the good of the order today? Now that you got good to-do items for our overall list?
Karen, there are a couple comments that came through. If
Oh,
nobody
I didn't see what you got.
Let's see. Leslie, of course, has it tells everyone to keep Chester County Concert Band in mind for an event. As you can find out more at their website, and you can read all these on the comments.
Actually, Leslie, do you want to do a minute to talk to people about where the concert band can best be used to its best advantage for?
Yes, I mean, because we are a large group, you know, we would certainly need enough space. I mean, even though we have 100 members, you know, we can bring, you know, 40 to 50 or so to an event, and we would still sound like a concert band. But, you know, again, we can tailor any concert to fit the needs of the event or venue. Obviously, you know, dealing with all this stuff, we would be, you know, leaning more towards more patriotic music. But we do have, you know, some music that that is about the Paoli battlefield and the DuPont connection as well, you know, through Longwood Gardens and that kind of thing. So we have a lot of stuff available to us, and pretty much all we would need going anywhere would just be chairs, and we bring everything else. So that's really all that we would need for anything, and we can be indoors or outdoors.
How many chairs, Leslie?
Well, it depends on how many would be coming and, you know, the size of the area, but, you know, the vicinity of like probably 50 to 70 chairs, you know, would definitely be enough. And again, if it would be, depending on the time of the year, we may need lighting, although we have lights ourselves, you know, on poles and stuff that we can provide. And we have a sound system that we can also provide if that is not available.
Where can people hear Chester County Concert Band in the upcoming couple of months?
Well, we just played at Rose Tree Park on Wednesday.
No.
So, and you know, even though it was
I was
really
driving
hot,
through there.
yeah, even though it was really hot, it cooled down, and all the storms went elsewhere, so we didn't get any rain at all. So we had a really nice concert. The only other public concert we have coming up is in Levittown at Falls Township Park. That's on July 14th. And then really we won't be having another formal concert until probably November 3rd at Fugate Middle School in Westchester. So, and then other concerts that we have are private, like at retirement centers and things like that.
And when I went to the one at Fugate a couple of months ago, you sold out the whole place. It was
pretty much
350 folks in the audience, pretty much standing room only, and a $10 ticket or something incredibly affordable. I forgot, but it was delightful to see so many people enjoying such incredible music. So thank you.
Yep, and we were thrilled to be able to help support the CC250 project.
Oh yeah,
as our raffle
50-50 for 250, as I say. So yeah, so good music, good people, good fun, and 250 is coming. Okay, thank you. Anybody else got news to share? Ideas? Yep.
There were a couple other comments too. Someone, let's see, it was Stephen Marvin suggested, mentioned the tricentennial tree planted in October 82 to honor Chester County milestone from 1682 was recently cut down. Maybe consider a replacement there, either a Liberty tree or another appropriate symbolic tree, such as an Eastern hemlock.
Where was it cut down?
I don't know what, I heard something about that, but I didn't get the. Is Stephen still here? Does he know the story?
Yep.
I was walking in town just this week and I walked by the plaque that's still there about the tricentennial tree on High Street, and no, it's all gone.
Oh, that one. Okay. I thought you meant one that had just fallen. Yeah.
I was there when they dedicated it, and that, I feel connected to it, and then all of a sudden it's gone. No public mention of it otherwise.
Interesting. Okay. All right, Rick, help.
Thank you.
What other comments you have, Heather?
And then Cindy Prater from West Bradford Historical Commission. She attends the meetings to learn about what other townships and organizations are planning. She wonders if a list of township reps and their contact information could be made available.
What do we think? Can we work to do that on the resources page? And
their contact info happens to change. Yes. I don't know if I want to put it out. It won't be the most accurate information if we put it out in an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, even in my information, it seems like it gets
pretty. Yeah, it's and it's public. Some of it is public information. Some of it is an individual, and some of it is, if you go to the website of the township, you can find like an info account to contact.
So I think what we have at this point, the most updated list on our website is the partners. If
the ones who've signed the
township, then you've signed in to say that you're going to be part of 250. That the links are right there on the page, and we're working to get every single township link there. So that's the first place. Yeah, we have to figure out, it is a very changeable list, and we want to try to connect folks. So we have to get the AOKs to connect the private emails and all that lovely stuff too many times. But at least we've got this started, and it's a good request. We just got to figure out how to deal with the ever-changing nature of emails.
Yes.
Anything else for the good of the order today? I say have a good 4th of July. I hope you all also had a very fruitful Juneteenth, and the connections between Juneteenth and 4th of July are heavy on my mind as we try to figure this stuff out for liberty and justice for all. So I want to thank you for everything you're doing so that we can really look at history and heritage and our role in it, past, present, and future. We got an awful lot to do in this country, and everybody's doing a part of it. So thank you very much. We will be zooming in each month, and we'll add some topics to focus the discussion, and once in a while just do an overarching what are you doing to share in your part of town. So thank you for the what are you doing in your part of town and what's going on with 250 overall today. If you have any questions, ideas, you know where we are. Please just call, email, or walk in, all right? And we'll do the same for you. Be safe. Have a good, happy 4th of July. We'll see you soon. Thank you very much.